to get that to Neighbors for the first down.
13 to Neighbors, 7 before that. Here's a run again by Dart. 1st and 10. He'll take it in. His first career touchdown. And the Giants on top.
Great play design here. This is a quarterback draw all the way. The way that the offensive line.
6 in the secondary. 3rd down and 6 for Jaxson Dart. And they bring 5, and Dart is there. And he'll go out on the fly, and the throw caught. That's a first down, 22-yard line. Grabbed over there by Darius Slayton, who's been all 7 years in his career with the Giants. He picks up on the play, 18 and a first down for New York.
Gives the Giants a first down, 7th play of this opening drive. Dart looking end zone. He's got a man down there, and down at the 1 is Bellinger. Daniel Bellinger had 3 catches all year. He's got 2 on this opening drive, and the Giants are going to try to go. Play action, Dart, end zone, wide open, touchdown, Theo Johnson. And so for the 2nd straight week, the Giants score a touchdown on their opening drive.
So as I was saying, Jason, you fake it to Scatterboo, and you throw it to your best friend, Theo Johnson, if you're Jaxson Dart, because they've established.
2nd down and 10. Dart looks right, nobody on the left. Dancing around the pocket, trying to take off, he will. There goes Dart into the open field, and he slides down with a first down. Great decision-making by Dart, and he picks up 20.
Picks up 20 and does an excellent job. Right now, he's looking, and there's vision here, vision there. There's nobody open, and it hits him.
Got Theo Johnson on the nub side, the back end of the formation, one-on-one.
Looking his way, and it's caught for a touchdown. Johnson does it again. 2nd touchdown of the game between Dart and Johnson.
What's been so impressive from this Giants offense is you wonder what was going to be their approach of how they attack without Malik Neighbors. We've seen a ton of, and Andrew, you said it, they don't have any substitutions for the wide receivers. So you run 40 yards down the field, you got to come right back.
Dart to Johnson, and Theo Johnson gets out of bounds.
3rd and 12. Dart in the pocket. Dart's going to go deep, and that pass is going to be pulled in at the 21-yard line by Lil Jordan Humphrey, who was just elevated to the active list. He's Lil Jordan, but he's 6'4" and 225. And he makes that pay off.
Yeah, Jaxson Dart does the right thing here. He might be called Little Jordan Humphrey, but
Dart, he can run. Can he ever? He can run all the way to the end zone. Touchdown.
well, Philadelphia has the young quarterback in 3rd down and long, and they give him a good look here. Zach Bond shows pressure, then drops to be the spy. The problem is it's a challenge for a middle linebacker with that much space to be able to get around him. Great job by Jaxson Dart.
Dart hanging in, good protection. Dart throws, and that's going to be caught at the 41-yard line by Wan'Dale Robinson, who gets up and picks up a few more yards. So coming into the game, Dart had not completed a pass more than 20 yards in the air. Now he's completed 2.
Well, what hurts him here is Ringo. It's that second corner opposite of Mitchell. He hesitates.
Interesting formation. Dart. Is he going to take off again? He might have to, but no, he finds an open man and hits him. Robinson stays in bounds. Robinson's going to go all the way for a touchdown. 35 yards. Whoa.
You get Robinson right here, and Zach Bond lined up opposite, but they bring pressure. Now you got eyes in the backfield. This is just backyard football. This is what Jaxson Dart does so well because he stays so calm. But the broken tackle, Robinson is little, but he's strong and tough to bring down. Good job of improvising.
Rush 5, gets the pass away, caught, got the first down and a lot more. into Philly territory. Theo Johnson, the tight end.
Watch how he sits in here against his pressure. Late movement. Linebacker Campbell comes free, gets hit from the outside, and delivers it right on the face mask to the big tight end Theo Johnson on 3rd and 8.
Dart, they're running 53% of the time, which is #1 in the NFL the last 3 weeks.
They had 172 against the Eagles last game. Here is a 2nd and 10. The dancing dart chased by Benito. Throws, and it's caught. Robinson, what a grab. Snares it out of the air.
Let's go back to the catch on the previous down, and it's going to be Robinson working in the middle of the field. Watch as he's trying to buy time, and then he realizes he gets outside the pocket. Excellent job. But watch as it just gets over the outstretched hand. Incredible play.
Tracy the back. Good cup. Now here he goes, winding up, going. He's got him. Touchdown! Bellinger! Holy smokes, he was wide open. 44-yard touchdown strike. And the Giants are on the board first in Denver.
Well, they just lose track of him. Bellinger goes right down the seam and off the play fake. Watch, he's going to release up the field here. The big throw to Robinson. And then, of course, the blown coverage that got the touchdown.
Fake the Scatterboo, 1st and 10. Dart, and he's got his receiver. That's caught by Robinson. That was right in front of Moss. 17-yard pickup by number 17. He's out to the 36-yard line and a 1st down for New York.
Robinson just lined up in the slot. They take advantage of the outside taken off the corner.
Thomas the block. Jaxson dart to the air, and he's got Bellinger again. He can't get by Ofunga, but he does get the 1st down deep in Bronco territory. Down to the 22. 29-yard strike. Another Giant 1st down. And Dart is right on the money.
He catches him on an out and up. Watch, I think it's going to Scatterboo.
The #1 3rd down, the #1 4th down, and here is the call. And looks like he got it there. On the 4th and about a half yard.
Same thing. He goes to the left, sees the softness over to that side.
Look at Thomas dive in there and Van Roten trying to burrow as they move. Boy, it looks like it there, doesn't it? Of course, you can't see it, but on the top. Dart, Thomas the block. Off to the running back, Scatterboo. There was a block inside. He's going to stiff arm his way in. Touchdown, Giants. Scatterboo with a catch and run. 13 yards. And the Giants have gone up 13-0 over the Broncos. And Scatterboo's 1st receiving touchdown.
Love the play.
Scatterboo the back, 3rd and 17. And he'll cut a pass, caught on the ricochet. It's grabbed here by the galloping Johnson. He'll be chased on the play by Barron. Did he get in? He did. Touchdown! One-yard ricochet touchdown reception, taking it in. Dart
barely get it.
Here they come. Here he goes, and it is bobbled and caught. Robinson reels it in, but
I think he's got it. I think he did.
McMillan was right there, and they give him the 1st down.
This is his Dart, steps up in the pocket. He hits Robinson, but right there,
Franklin
Myers with the hit that gets the extra 15. Now it's down to the 40.
And again, plenty of time on the clock, 1:01. And 1st and goal. Dart will run it himself and dives.
Oh, they're saying he's short.
Short inside the 1.
Dart saying he got in. The clock. Let's see. He catches.
Charge timeout.
I don't know. I don't think his knee ever went down. So New York calls the timeout. They can't challenge it. His contact
is under further review.
That looks like a touchdown.
It looks like a touchdown is right.
Watch right here. He never touches the ground. His forearm is until the thigh comes down. The ball's in the end zone. Definitely broke the plane. The knee never goes down. Right there, he makes contact,
but the ball's
already in.
Yeah,
Yes.
Ball's well over the goal line. James.
Another blitz. Dart protected throw. It is caught for the touchdown. Dart beat the blitz. Scatterbo on the receiving end. And the Giants are in for 6.
Wait a minute, he's a runner and a pass catcher? Oh, yes, he is. Here he is right in the backfield, one-on.
Here's Dart. Steps away from pressure. Now he's in trouble. Hunt on him. Dart reversing field. Looking, throwing. It is caught. Wow. Dart did a lot of running for about an 8-yard completion, but that was well done to Slayton.
And Blankenship, the safety and coverage, like, how long do I have to cover this guy for? Here's Blankenship, the half-field safety. He ends up being on the pass defense, but it's zone coverage, so Dart using the legs and the powerful legs that he has to.
3rd and 7. Dart looking, floating, has a man, and it is caught! Wow! Devin Singletary reached down to get it, and the drive continues. Another 3rd down conversion.
Love this play call by Brian Dable. We used to call this a Staubach route. All these linebackers are used. Coach Dable still wants to see good, solid execution. With young players, you're always looking to build on good performances, and that could be good plays at certain points.
Starts in trouble, spinning away. Sets, looks, throws. Oh, that's pretty. Wandale Robinson came open, makes the grab, and he's down to about the 25-yard line. Dart just making it happen with his feet, patience downfield, and a big gain of 35.
Yeah, and that's what gets all the Giants fans excited. This escapability and then playmaking ability on these loose plays down the field.
Dart, fake toss, and he's in for the touchdown. His 4th rushing touchdown of his young career.
Yeah, great creativity, a lot of misdirection. See the Eagles players shaking their head. They got the jet sweep.
Again, mostly backups, it feels like, on that line. With the 1st and 10. Outside, Johnson. Into the defense of Lenore, and he dives, and it is a touchdown. He got in. Delayed call. They looked at each other. 15-yard touchdown.
Well, one guy signaled touchdown. One guy thought he stepped out at the 2 or 3.
Right,
so.
and they looked at each other, and there was a long pause, but he gets it on a 15-yard touchdown pass. Chase gets the headlines, but Higgins is right there, isn't he, Trent, with him? And here's a 1st 10 for Dart. Good time. Thomas, a terrific block on Farrell, but now they come across. And he gets away, and a flag has been thrown and chased by Winters. And runs out of bounds, but the flag has been thrown.
Daniel Jones and Jonathan Taylor putting up big numbers.
Dart 1st and 10. He's got the open receiver, and that is Darius Slayton. And he's down to the 40-yard line, brought down by Malik Mustafa. With Singletary, Dart here. Singletary a block, that's a touchdown. Jaxson Dart.
Well, Kevin, that's much needed, knowing that they're down what they are, and there's not much time left in this game. So as I said at the beginning of this drive, it's about possessions at this point in time. You got to get touchdowns. They're able to seal off the edge. Good patience by Dart initially. Watch the wall that comes out here. Patience, 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 and then
Patriots up by 1. Back to you.
London didn't play last week in the loss to Miami. Down the field they go. Here's Slayton, brought down by Mustafa. Good throw by Dart, 17-yard pickup.
But you got to love the effort and the energy that he brings and going to get the 1st down.
A lot of energy. Here he goes deep again, caught for the touchdown. And that is grabbed by Olszewski in his 1st reception this season. This and Dart throws his 2nd touchdown pass of the day. And Olszewski was right there with a couple of defenders on either side, Lenore and Mustafa.
Good job by the rookie there, looking out to the flat. Dart trying to hold the corner, thinking you're going to go either the sit down or the out of bounds play with the flat. That just
the effectiveness of the run is less impactful than marrying the two together. Down the sideline, Dart's throw is caught by Slayton. One-handed catch from Darius Slayton. How in the world did he do that?
That was as good of a catch. I'll tell you, it was on the far sideline. We couldn't really tell if he caught it. He's fighting Stevenson and just sticks out that left hand. That is it.
Tyrone Tracy's in there, running back, takes the fake. Dart looks to throw, lofts one to a wide open Slayton. Much easier this time for Slayton. It's another big one for him. 31 to finish the quarter, 36 to start the second.
Yeah, Eric Stevenson, he just gets mixed up whether or not he should pass this off or stay deep, and just a great route by Slayton. Looked like he was going to.
Extra offensive lineman in the game for the Giants. Third down, it is Dart, and Jaxson darts in for the Giants touchdown. Got him down there with his arm, finishes the drive with his legs.
There you go. Right on cue. They're in tackle over. You'll see Chris Manhertz. He's playing left tackle because they've got the three big bodies on the right side. It's just fake toss, quarterback counter, pretty much untouched, crossing the goal line. That's a really well-designed play. When you have a quarterback in the red zone that is a willing and able runner.
3rd and 6, Bears drop into coverage, so Dart's got time. Perfect toss for Slayton. Touch pass over the top, and a first down on a gain of 17.
Yeah, and this, wait till you see this throw. He's got guys in his face. You'll see they starting to all up pressure. Noah Sewell, the linebacker, he's going to drop. He's got guys right on his lap, and then to be able to throw it over 40.
He's going to run it off the right side. Jaxson Dart, a first down. Jaxson Dart with flags flying is inside the 5.
Down will stand because it happened past the yard to gain, but I think they're going to get him for a block in the back. Nice quarterback bash.
Illegal block in the back. Offense, number 82. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. It will be 3rd down after enforcement.
All right, so they weren't passed. So it was really close. So as they mark off 10, it's going to be 3rd and real short. You're going to back-to-back possessions of your own to then giving Chicago another chance to possess the ball.
Yeah, tricky spot right here for Dable and the Giants. Dart steps up, throws on the run. He's got Theo Johnson. Put it on a dime for a first down.
We've now seen both these young quarterbacks be really good on the run, accurate. Caleb Williams and Dart have both been excellent on the move.
Now he wants Johnson down the seam, and he's got him again. Theo Johnson, who's had some issues with drops this year, with a couple nice catches.
Trying to catch my breath.
I appreciate it, but
just look at this ball. So they teach quarterbacks, especially the big body tight ends down the middle of the field, as he had in the previous 6 weeks combined. So clearly emphasized.
He's got it right here, and he's got another touchdown. Jaxson Dart from 24 yards. His second rushing touchdown of the day, and the Giants find the end zone right out of the break.
And that's why teams typically want to...
Looking for their first conversion today. It's a naked boot and wide open space for Jaxson Dart. 9 yards, and they pick up a first down on 4th down for the first time today.
And this is a great, first of all, great play design. Watch the right guard, Greg Van Roten. He's going to slice out the legs here of Joe Troyon Shoyinka. And that's exactly.
Dart on first down, backpedaling as he finds Slayton. Nice move and right up the gut. Slayton to the end zone, touchdown.
One of them being Wan'Dale Robinson in the slot, and he throws it here to Slayton. Slayton's just able to make some people miss, and just great individual effort to get it in.
Officially goes down as a 30-yard touchdown. Catch and run, and it will stand. Here's one floated for Johnson. Nice catch. Good throw and a spinning grab by Theo Johnson.
for 18 yards as he was working against a linebacker, Jack Gibbons.
Yeah, this is some of the matchups you look for when you've got an athletic tight end like you've got in Theo Johnson, and really good protection up front for Jaxson Dart, who's able to.
Dart to his left, now back to his right, and he's bottled up. Surveying and completing. Slayton. And the two-point try is good. And it's a 30-15 game. Darius Slayton, who has a 30-yard touchdown catch in this game. Dart.
11 TDs, only 3 interceptions. That is very impressive.
Here's Dart on first down, and it's caught in Commanders territory by Darius Slayton.
Again, a little bit better right now. I like what he's doing. He's challenging the Giants to be patient offensively.
Dart takes off, 2nd and 9, picks up a first and much more. Jaxson Dart inside the 15 and finally brought down at the 13-yard line, his longest of the season.
And this is what Dan Quinn was afraid of. Everybody rushing up the field, and you leave the middle wide open for Jaxson Dart. The secondary, I just said, they've been challenging them to be patient. They're dropping back. They want nobody over the top of them. So that means there's going to be this big.
Now 2nd and 10. Pass over the middle. It is complete. Darius Slayton to the Washington 41.
And Darius Slayton down on the outside. The other receiver to the top of the screen.
Here's Dart looking, fires to the end zone. It is caught. Tyrone Tracy, his 2nd touchdown today.
And here's Tyrone Tracy. And you're
on 4th down, Dart looking to throw. Backpedals. Nice touch for the first down to Bellinger. Daniel Bellinger gains 12 into Washington Commanders territory.
Yeah, I don't like the play call at all. I like that they went for it on 4th. Don't like.
Former Jet, Seahawk. His father George was a running back for the Giants. As Dart finds his man downfield, it's Theo Johnson.
Theo Johnson, we said that connection they've had all season long. Jaxson Dart likes going to him. Theo Johnson likes to stretch the field. Saw it against the Patriots. He was able to do that. And look at that throw and catch, the concentration. Theo Johnson to complete that reception, get a much-needed big gain.
Dart under pressure, throws, end zone, touchdown, Wan'Dale Robinson.
There's Brian Burns. He's the reason that the Giants offense is
3rd down and 8. And Dart. And he's got the first down to the 50 and caught again by Robinson. Wan'Dale Robinson comes up with another grab. He's top 9 in the NFL in receptions. Picks up 17 to the 45 of Las Vegas.
Quarterback designed runs.
Bellinger was back there with Dart. 1st and 10. There's the block on Butler and a wide open receiver. The backpedaling Slayton has it with Stokes to stop him at about the 18 of the Raiders. A gain of 21 through the air and a first down for the Giants.
Good accurate throw, good time in the pocket for him to be able to get this out. Anytime you're pushing the ball up the field,
and at 5'8", he'd be amongst the shortest ever to get 1,000 yards. Not the shortest among. There's a designed run. Here goes the quarterback for 6. Dart takes it in on a touchdown run of 12. And the Giants have gone on top 13-3.
There was no doubt in my mind, and I don't think anybody else in the stadium, that he was not going to slide. Designed run here, you get the guys up the field blocking, and then he just takes off, and as he sees that goal line approaching, lowers the shoulder, does take a big hit. The helmet nearly comes off. Just a crossing route. They were able to take advantage of the man coverage, and they lost leverage.
Fake to Tracy, downfield, wide open. He's got his receiver, Robinson, who broke the tackle of Polamalu, is knocked out of bounds by Darian Porter, and takes the ball deep into Raider territory inside the 35, a gain of 36. He's getting close to 1,000 with a huge first half here in Nevada.
You lose him 2 plays in a row. Leave him
when he took over for Russell Wilson early in the season. Second down, 14. Dart running again this time. White has a beat on him, and he's got the first down inside the 10. Markham at the 9 with a good-looking scramble. A run of 16 by Dart. First and goal to go, the Giants.
Well, this looks similar to the Dart we saw early in the season prior to the concussion. You're going to see he's looking at this.
And Dart with a 4th and 1 at the 2. Fake to Singletary. Here comes Wilson. Here goes Dart. His second touchdown today on the ground. So any question about him running has been erased today. A 2-yard touchdown run by the rookie quarterback, Jaxson Dart. And the Giants are going to go back east with their first win on the road this season, ending a 13-game road losing streak.
You see the block.
First and 10 from midfield. Dart with pressure coming, gets rid of it. Oshesky up the sideline and out of bounds inside the Dallas 25. Mark him out at the 23, a pickup of 28.
Yeah, just a really nice job. Well, pressing to the inside and then breaking to the outside. You can see him turn the hips of the defender, and that was an easy break to the outside.
So Dart.
There are plays to be made in this secondary. It's a lot of pieces in place that haven't had a lot of time playing together.
Here's Dart, lots of time. Now going to scramble. Dart on the run, down the sideline. He'll duck out of bounds. At the 10, it's first and goal. Running behind Devin Singletary, finds some room, and he moves the chains.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that we talked to Jaxson Dart about it, and I think he gets a little bit.
Dart with time, jumps that pass to Oshesky, and down the sideline he goes. Inside the 25 and down to the 23 where Reddy Stewart makes the tackle. 23-yard pickup.
We saw it, in the earlier part of this game in the first quarter. Watch, he's going to release like he's going to the middle of the field, and then he just breaks to the outside. And, Reddy Stewart's got to be aware of that. And that's a very, very similar play to what we saw earlier when Gunnar Oshesky had another big play.
Well, you can scoff about 3rd down and 6. They need the 7-yard line for the first. Dart looking for the end zone. Open is Tracy. It's a Giants touchdown.
Let's see what happens in here. This is the 2 guys that seem to be in the middle of it.
So quarterback gets hit. Looked like James Houston got to Dart. Van Roten and Kenny Clark were tangled up initially.